Now, and we're golden. Okay.
Awesome.
All right, so on the music end of things, as I say, you don't have to worry too much about reading the stuff. I think eventually you're going to start to recognize patterns and things like that. And you had mentioned that you've done quite a bit of music in Foxborough as well. So I'm sure some of this stuff looks familiar.
Yeah, a lot of it. Basically, right now, it's a lot of things that I recognize but can't read.
Yeah, and you do not have to worry about you do not have to worry about that. Okay, so I'll just explain just very briefly. Music is written on a staff. That's that 5 lines and 4 spaces. And the notes are basically just the ovals. Depending on what the ovals look like depends sort of how long the notes are. So the first ones in the first exercise are quarter notes. They get 1 beat apiece. So they're kind of like this. Number 2, because the notes have little beams across the top of them, they are faster. They get double the speed. It's like 1 and. Number 3, because it has a double beam, you double the speed again. So that's basically adding beams just sort of doubles the speed of it. Again, you don't have to worry so much about that because one of the best parts about singing is you're going to be using your ear and we're going to be working together. So
that's a good thing I have. I have a very good ear.
Absolutely. So in singing, I'm not sure if in any of your sports you have to do really wacky things, but in singing we usually have to do kind of weird things to get the voice working. So you might say to yourself, like, what's he doing here? Trust me, just trust me, after a couple of lessons, you'll just start to say, I hear things happening.
Yeah.
So the exercises there, we're going to look at the first 5 exercises on the page. We're not going to do the whole page today.
Okay.
The first exercise says easy onset. Onset is how we start our sound. And so in this one, it's going to be a very gentle warm-up. We're just going to hum. And so you're just going to let your lips gently vibrate. And the tune sounds like this. It just goes back and forth. So I'll just do a demonstration, so I might just go like this. And those little lines are letting me know that I can sort of slide. Okay. Try it out with me and see how it feels. Then up we go. We'll just go a little higher. We do one more. Easy enough. How did that feel to do?
My lips are numb.
If the lips are tickling, then you are absolutely doing it right. If your lips are feeling it, you are totally doing it right. It's weird, and I'll tell you why we want to do that in a warm-up. Because when we sing, we have to project our sound out to our listener. Always pretend that there's a person listening, even if you're practicing by yourself. Like, you always should pretend you got an audience, there's somebody that's listening to what you have to say. A lot of times singers get their sound stuck in their mouths, and so you hear it because your ears are stuck right here. But if you don't project your sound out, it's kind of like if you listen to yourself on a recording or you watch yourself back, you go, that's me, you know, because we don't always hear the true sound of our voice. But as I say, you will find that puts the sound at the front of your mouth. People will hear you're singing that much better. And it's really easy. You'll also notice I like to do things usually 3 times. I find that sort of like a magic number for preparation and practicing. More is always good too, but I usually do things at least 3 times. Once just to kind of remind myself how it goes. Twice I can work on it a bit. 3rd time it sort of sticks with me. Because singing, this is the coolest part, and I'm sure you know this from songs that you sing, they sort of become a part of who you are. They're not just, like it's in your whole, it's not just your brain and your mind, it's your whole body that's involved in the song. Exactly. So number 2, this one says follow through, steady air and tone. So one thing that we want to do as a singer is, again, sing steadily. We don't want to sort of start loud and get soft, you know, going all over the place. That makes it difficult to hear our tone. So in this one, we're going to just sing gently, and the sound is just a syllable. It just goes ja, ja, ja. Just try saying that with me. Ja, ja, ja. Easy. Yeah, I know, it's weird. All right, but the tune is simple. It goes like this, and you shouldn't get too numb on this one. Ja, ja, ja. Try that with me. Ja, ja, ja. Easy, keep going. Ja, ja, ja. Do one more. Ja, ja, ja. Good job, and you're matching matching really nicely with me as well. How did that one feel to do?
Good.
Good. Excellent. Very good. And you're easily using your air, you're singing well, and you're, again, vocalizing really well, because I'm hearing the tone really nicely as well.
Okay.
So we're going to keep going. Number 3 is up next. So this particular exercise has a word, resonance. Have you ever heard that word before? If something is resonant?
Yeah, like it bounces around or like...
Totally.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. And so that is your unique sound. Your voice is not like mine, and mine is not like yours. Everybody has a unique voice. And your unique voice is created by your bone structure, like how your body is built, basically. So resonance, you feel vibrations. You'll feel vibrations on low notes down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll feel, and that vibration is just what's happening. Sometimes you'll even feel it on the back of your neck, or even in the top of your head. It might tingle a little bit, or in your eyeballs, or in your forehead, or even sometimes in your nose, although...
Yeah, I've heard like in your sinuses or whatever, you can feel the soft palate tingling or something.
Totally, absolutely. And that soft palate, but just behind your teeth is the hard palate. That's skin and bone, and you don't have to put your finger in your mouth. But and the further you go back, if you kind of just do an ah, you'll feel that skin is less bony at the back, and so it sort of stretches up. That's your soft palate. Singers like to stretch that soft palate. It helps keep us singing in tune better. And plus, we sound better as well when we have that soft palate up. So,
okay.
Yeah. So this particular exercise is going to have lots of buzz in it, and that's part of why we do that because you would have been buzzing. That's why you felt that. This one won't feel quite as numbing, though, because you get to do a few things. So we sing mini, 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 ming, ming, ming. Just try saying that with it. Mini, 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 ming, ming, ming. That's it, and it sounds like this. Mini, 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 ming, ming, ming. So we start a little higher on this one. Mini, 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 ming, ming, ming. Keep going up with me. Mini, 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 ming, ming, ming. Keep breathing deep. Mini, 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 ming, ming, ming. Nicely done. You'll notice the higher you go, the more air you'll need. So,
because it comes out faster.
Exactly.
Right?
And if you don't have enough air, that's when you might go a little out of tune or struggle with a note. So you have to make sure to always... I tend to just take a deep breath no matter what, whether it's low or high. But the higher I go, the more I'm thinking about my breath.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to add number 4 in today. I like to think of this one since we've got Thanksgiving coming up. As you sing yum yum, think of something delicious or something like that, your favorite food or whatever. So in this exercise, you'll probably see that the note starts higher. It's not outrageously high, and then it goes to low, back and forth. And you'll notice it has that gliss again, which means we're going to slide through the voice. So it just sounds like this. So that's what an octave is. It's basically
same note, different.
Exactly, exactly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oct means 8, basically. Yeah, exactly. And it's the same note, just one octave apart. So it just sounds like this. Yum, 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 yum. Try that with me. Yum, yum, yum. No worries, that's okay. That's the first time trying it. That's okay. Just if you can, just watch my mouth too. That will help too. Yum, 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 yum. You got it. Keep going. Yum, 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 yum. Take another deep breath. Yum, yum, yum. We'll finish there. Awesome. I like that you used your arm as well because
it kind of helped me.
Oh, totally. Well, I do it, so I'm just like, if I do it, students should do it too. Yeah. So high is up here, low is down here. It can really help to get you through that.
Yeah, when I catch myself singing in my room and I end up doing literally like
it's a great thing to do. It's really awesome. Yeah, it's a great tool to use. So we're going to do one more today, and then that will sort of be our warm-up there. So the next exercise, number 5, says volume and high range. So obviously when we're singing acoustically, just with no mics or anything like that, you definitely, again, want to project. You have nothing to worry about. You've got a strong voice. I can hear you quite clearly. I bet if I heard you singing, if I was out in the middle of the cul-de-sac, I might still hear. It might be softer, but I would still hear you. So you've got a good strength to your voice. And if I remember correctly, when I did meet you before, I heard you sing some great high notes. So I don't think high notes are going to cause you too much grief.
Oh, cool. That's what I was worried about with my eyes.
So this one will probably feel the most challenging. You might feel like your throat is working a little bit harder.
Okay.
If it hurts, like if it really hurts, then I would say definitely don't do it more than like as soon as it starts to hurt, you must stop. Okay, we don't want to damage our voice, and part of it is just building the voice as well. So I always just say if it hurts, don't do it.
Yeah, with screaming, that was a big thing that the people online were saying is if it's okay to feel a tingling and vibration, but if you feel like straining or like pain, stop. You're doing something wrong.
Exactly, and sometimes that pain or strain, because your vocal folds are muscles, they're just like arm muscles basically. As soon as you develop the muscles, then sometimes that strain might disappear as well. Like the strain might just be there because you're trying it for the first time, you know? But eventually, yeah, if it just keeps chronically being like that, then you just say, no, I need to take a break. And oftentimes a break is all you need.
Yeah.
You know, you can take a 10-minute break, walk around or whatever, and then you can go back to singing. Other times,
I've done that actually. When sorry, I'm cutting you off. When I was warming up, I ended up like stopping for a minute or whatever to go get like, just something to drink, whatever. I came back and like everything just felt so much easier and like it was right there.
Yeah, exactly. And part of it is it's just getting the body involved, basically. So this exercise, like I said, you might feel a little something, but it shouldn't be outrageous. Okay. So we're gonna sing show, just like TV show, that sort of thing. In this exercise, we go from a medium note to a high note, and then we go right back down. So we're just sort of touching that high note for just a moment. And it just sounds like this. Show. Try that with me. You'll have a nice deep breath. Show. You did it. Let's do it one more time. Show. And of course, I'm going to make us go a little higher. Show. This is another sort of semi-high note. Show. So that one was a little tougher.
Yeah.
I want you to think, yeah, this is an outrage. You can definitely do this. I know this is easily within your range. So you just think, show, and imagine that sound being just a little outside of your head. See how that feels. Show. And if it needs to, Thomas, let it just go. Show. Let it lighten up if it needs to do that. Show. And this is the other thing, that little cracky sound that you heard as you move back down, that will eventually disappear.
Yep.
The first two, though, were pretty easy for you. So just the last one started to get
I think I just got to give it a bit more power, to be honest. I think I'm just kind of like still self-conscious a bit.
Oh, like, yeah. I can just tell you, being a voice teacher, this is a safe place to make really weird sounds. You don't have to worry about, because I make all kinds of weird sounds along the way too. So, all right, so basically that's kind of what I usually do for a warm-up. It usually takes about 7 or 8 minutes. Okay. And then, as I mentioned to you before, it would be to your advantage to just like each day, it'll take you 7 minutes. You can do it when you get up, or you can do it after supper, or maybe before supper. You usually find singing on a full stomach is a little bit trickier. Okay. But anyways, just try to do that each day. You will find that you will start to really develop your voice, not only the songs that you and I work on, but the ones that you really enjoy singing as well, that require all that power. So this is again our first lesson, and I'm still getting to know your voice. I have some songs for us to look at. I'm assuming that you will probably enjoy them. They may not be totally like what your style is, but they will teach you something about singing, okay? Awesome. So we're gonna, and that's one of the things that I use is I use the songs to sort of work on things. Okay, so the first one we're gonna look at is an old song. I think it's from like the 50s called Moon River. I don't know if you've ever heard of this song before, or...
I haven't.
Okay, so it's from, it was written by a really famous movie composer. But oftentimes I'll want to look at the music, so I see the title. I see there's a little blurb about what the song's about, so at some point it might be worth reading. And then I see it says music by Henry Mancini. He's a really famous film composer. If you check him out on Wikipedia, you'll recognize a whole whack of movies that he's written the music for. Okay. And Johnny Mercer, I think, is a really famous writer. My brain wants to say he wrote like Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, or like one of those really famous Christmas tunes as well. Okay. Anyways, so one of the things as singers that we have a dual role. We are not just singing pitches and rhythms. People enjoy that, but we have a story to tell. It can be a happy story, a sad story, anything in between. This one kind of, and a lot of the time in songs, as you probably know, there is some element of love or some sort of love story that's involved. And so this one just, to me, is just sort of a tender love song. I believe it was used in a movie called Breakfast at Tiffany's. Maybe you've heard of that movie before.
I haven't.
But I think it's from the 50s, and I think Tiffany's is like a jewelry store in New York City. I've never seen the movie myself either. But the song is fantastic, and I do think you'll like it. So one of the things that about learning vocal music that you'll find that can be a bit more difficult is, say, the second word, like river, they break the syllables up. So they put a little dash in between, which we normally don't see if we're reading. Like moon looks like moon, but river, they break up the syllables. Exactly. Yeah. So it can be a bit of a pain to read sometimes. But one of the things that I usually do is I just try to read through the text just to kind of get to know what the song is about. So if you're comfortable, without even singing it, I'll ask you just to read the lyrics to me.
Okay, so moon river wider than a moon river wider than a mile. I'm crossing you in style someday. Old dream maker, heartbreaker. Wherever you're going, I'm going your way.
And then
got that right?
Yeah, you're rocking it. Yeah.
All right. Two drifters off to see the world. There's such a lot of world to see. What is that?
After.
After. Okay.
Yeah.
We're after the same rainbow's end.
Waiting round. Yeah.
Waiting round the bend. Okay. My huckleberry friend.
I know, crazy, yeah.
My huckleberry friend, Moon River, and me.
Yeah, I think it's the only song I've ever heard Huckleberry Friend in before.
Yeah.
But anyways, the tune is really pretty. If you don't recognize it, I think you'll really enjoy it. Just one of those kind of classic tunes. Again, a great sort of starting off point for singing. So what I'll often do is I'll usually demonstrate the song. I'll sing it to you so you can sort of hear what it sounds like. If the tune gets in your ear, sort of hum along, sing along with me. Just do what feels comfortable, okay? If you just want to listen, that's totally fine as well. And this is how Moon River goes. Moon River, wider than a mile, I'm crossing you in style someday. Old dream maker, you heartbreaker, wherever you're going, I'm going your way. Two drifters off to see the world. There's such a lot of world to see. We're after the same rainbow's end, waiting round the bend, my huckleberry friend, Moon River and me.
That's gonna be fun to learn. Okay.
Yeah, it's a neat little tune. Had you ever heard the melody in your life?
I haven't.
No? Okay. So somewhere you're going to hear it and you'll go, there's that song Michael gave to me there, you know? If it's all right with you, one of the best ways to get into the song is to try it out. So the two of us will try it together, okay? You do not have to be perfect, okay? Just try it out and I'll help you along the way, okay? So there's the first notes. Just try the first two words with me. Moon River. Oh, you're rocking it already. Here we go. So I'll give you a little intro. Just kind of gets you a chance to catch your breath. Take a deep breath. Moon River, wider than a mile, I'm crossing you in style someday. Old dream maker, you heartbreaker, wherever you're going, I'm going The only part that I thought was a little hard, and I saw you giggle a little bit, we're after the same rainbow's end. I would say that for your breathing, either take a breath after the word after, or maybe the same. Like, you need a breath there.
Yeah, I felt myself running out of breath, and I was like, oh, this isn't going to be good.
I can't remember where I breathe. I'm just going to check it myself. We're after the same. I usually write by here. Rainbows end. Like, you can take a breath there. So you know what I often do? I'll give you a pencil right here. Is just before the word rainbow, just put a little comma or something. Just a little comma to remind you. I just usually draw something like that. And that's just a little reminder that I can take a breath.
Beauty.
So you can actually leave that on the stand if you want to, in case you have to write anything down later on too. So basically, on the video that I'll send over to you, you can, for the first lesson, I usually get you to sort of sing along with me to get to know the music. Then I'll do a piano-only version so that you can sing it on your own. So it's kind of like doing karaoke, sort of. But I want you to be able to do it on your own. Don't worry, you don't have to always be singing with me. Just the first lesson, I usually like to...
Yeah, just to get me comfortable. And
Exactly. All right, so that is Moon River. I thought you started it really, really well. So flip over.
I honestly, I kind of agree. I felt it kind of going all right during the beginning, and then by the end, I was like, oh, this is not.
As soon as I saw you giggling, it's your first try through. You have to realize I've known this song probably for like 25 years, so I just have a few years on here with that one. The next tune is a Beatles tune. Are you familiar with the song "Here Comes the Sun" by the Beatles? I thought that would be a good song for you to start off with as well. So pop songs in particular can sometimes come with some weird repeats, and pop music also incorporates weird syllables. For example, they go, "Here comes the sun, do-da-do." Exactly. So there's always those kinds of extra things in there. So if you flip over the page, you'll see that there are 3 little darlings at the top of the page. So that's verse 1, then verse 2 is the second little darling, and verse 3.
Okay.
So that will take a little bit of getting used to. I'll just explain. So on 299, that's at the top of that page, for example, I'll read the lyrics to the first verse. It just goes, "Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here." And then we go all the way over to page 300. Were you able to follow with me that?
299,
yeah.
Little darling.
And then jump right to the top line here. "It's been a long, cold, lonely winter." And then you go to the next one, "Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here." And then we go to the chorus. "Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, and I say it's all right." That thing right there is called a repeat sign. It's those little dots there, and we go back to the other dots. So now we're going to do the middle line, which is a bit of a pain to read. "Little darling, the smiles returning to their faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, and I say it's all right." And then we flip the page just to keep things fun. And that's where we get the sun, 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 here it comes, that part. And we usually sing that a couple of times. And then there's one more verse just to make your life. And we go back to that third verse. "Little darling, I feel that ice is slowly melting."
So this is just giving me a really good understanding. Because the way I write music, right? I just write it on page.
Exactly.
So but this actually structures the rhythm of the music and then the lyrics to
and one of the reasons they do that
makes so much sense.
It does, and yet it can be also confusing.
Yeah.
One of the reasons
that makes so much sense.
2 ways that they do. 2 reasons that occurs. First off, they can be paper savers. They don't have to write the music out every single time. And they're also somewhat lazy because they don't want to write all the stuff out. But it does make sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sing the song.
Because, just to clarify, because this is making everything click. Like, damn. It's all the same riffs.
Exactly.
But they just play it 3 different times and and change the lyrics a little bit or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly. Okay. So your song structure, and then the sun, 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 here it comes, that would be your bridge, basically. Yeah. So now this one has a medium high note in it. Not as high as that last one that you had to sing, but we'll see how it feels. If it feels too high to you, let me know, and we can always always change it. If you know the songs, sing along with me. Try and follow along. If you want to just listen to it, I'm totally cool with that too. And although it sounds nice with the guitar, it'll sound pretty decent with the piano too. So here we go with "Here Comes the Sun." Sun, 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 here it comes. And we usually do that twice. Sun, 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 here it comes. I think the Beatles actually do it like 4 times, but we'll just do it twice. We gotta go back to page 299 one more time for verse 3. Little darling, I feel that ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. And then we just do the chorus. Here comes the sun a second time. Here comes the sun, it's alright. It's alright. Were you
Awesome.
for sort of follow it okay?
Yep.
Ish, yeah. And it did make sort of semi-sense. Would you be yeah, it made sense. What I want to do for the last part of your lesson, I've got to throw another song out at you.
Okay.
Because I usually like students to have about 3 songs to be working on.
Okay.
So this is another oldie, but a great teaching piece. And one of the things I'm thinking in working in a group setting, now, just out of curiosity, have you done some singing in a band before or anything like that? Or okay,
I just make my own music and
do
the
your own
studio
thing.
at home.
So something oftentimes, again, that you hear with recordings is, of course, you'll hear harmonies. So you'll hear kind of, so this one actually has some nice things that like you and I could try some harmony together.
Okay.
But in order to do that, you got to learn your part first. So the song was made famous by Elvis, and it's called Can't Help Falling in Love. Does that title ring a bell to you at all?
It does not.
So it's, 1961, so that was a day or two ago. This one, the words aren't as hard to follow, so I'll ask you to read the lyrics out to me on this one. Right from where it says, wise men say.
Okay, yeah. Wise men say, and then I go down to this thing.
Only fools, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with
And then you gotta flip the page.
you.
Yeah.
Shall I stay? Would it be? Should I stay? Would it be a sin if I can't help falling in love with you? Like a river flows only to the sea, darling, it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too. For wait. For I can't help from falling, or can't help falling in love with you.
And you don't have to read any more lyrics because that's all the rest of it just keeps repeating.
Okay, okay.
So what I'll do is, again, I'll sing the tune. If the tune gets in your ear, join with me. It's very catchy, and you might just say, I've heard this. It was remade, I can't remember. There was a girl named Haley Reinhardt. I don't know if you ever heard of her. She made it popular a few years ago. And then Corey Hart, he's like a Canadian 80s singer. He made it popular back in the 80s. So it's been kind of redone a few times, but it's really a nice piece, and I think you'll enjoy it. It sounds great with guitar as well, but it sounds nice with the piano, and it goes like this. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Then we're on top of the next only to the sea.